Mr. Loftbaum, you'll lead this question. What are your views on alternatives to public schools?
Well, our Constitution says that we will fund public schools. So I don't see enough money in the system to run parallel programs. I'm not against private school. In fact, our oldest daughter, or our oldest child, our daughter, graduated from a private Christian school. And the other children went some there and some to public school. I am particularly proud of my public school when I was growing up, and I realized things have changed. But not everything was perfect back then either. So I guess as far as alternatives, I would say, yeah, if that works for the parents, if they want to go to Christian school or if they want to go to homeschool, that's fine, but I don't, I think they should do it on their own resource. And that gets back to the tax issues too. When you deplete the taxpayer, the people that have to educate the kids of all their money, well then of course they don't have much of a choice as far as alternatives. So if you can leave the money where it belongs, and I think that the public schools particularly need to cut down on their budget because they don't have the kids. And that in itself, and leave the money with the parents, they will be able to seek other methods if they so choose.
Thank you. Mr. Fairbairn.
Well, you'll see I'm a free market candidate. I'm all about competition, and that's what our schools are missing right now, competition. I'd like to see more competition in our schools. Right now, these public schools, there's no incentive for the teachers to do better. The grading process that goes on in these schools, the teachers get A's every time, even if they're bad teachers. So the school boards can't fire these bad teachers, so it's the cyclical, the cycle that is really ruining our schools. The Great Lakes Education Project is working really hard to get more school of choice alternatives for people that says the dollar should follow the student. If this student from Detroit wants to go to school in Grayling, he should be able to. If he thinks he's going to get a better education there, or they offer better CTE programs in Grayling than Detroit, that student should be able to go wherever he wants. If he wants to be a plumber and they offer plumber trade school at Grayling, they should be able to go do that. So that's what I'm passionate about. We need more competition in our schools.
Thank you. Mr. Carr.
Well, I just say hold on here. Like I say, I was a driver for a teacher in 55 schools in 1 year. And I've been doing it for many years. Public schools, parochial schools, charter schools, private schools, Montessori schools, Catholic schools, Lutheran schools, Adventist schools. She taught them all. And I watched it. Kids are kids, and teachers are teachers. And they love they love the school they're in normally. They love the teachers normally. Some schools are better than others, that is correct. Some communities are better than others, aren't they? So when you have that, but to say, well, teachers don't do this and then now they don't do that. No. And Mrs. Carr has taught in all of them, not just parochial or not this one. And so I have a hard time listening to, these schools aren't very good. I will say this, when they were gonna close the Benton Harbor School, I called the governor's office. And we're closing it. Well, the next day they didn't close it because Karen student taught in Benton Harbor. And I said, what's missing is a parent camaraderie. So parents are important, but they need part of the school. Just be part of the school.
Thank you. Mr. Frisky.
Yeah, so school choice is absolutely a top priority for me. I have 4 adult sons, they're all in their 30s now, and we were very fortunate as a family. We started out, we homeschooled our kids for a little while, and then I moved from the Orchard up here to the Petoskey area, and our kids attended Harbor Lake Christian School for a few years. And, they did ultimately all graduate from the public school in Charlevoix, but, so, you know, I've been exposed to all these different options, and I do agree with Parker, we absolutely need competition in the education system. And, you know, whether it's education or business or any part of our lives, if you're afraid of competition, you're not doing something right. My dad instilled that in me as a youngster. We even had family that was in the same business that we were, and it was always this little friendly rivalry, and he's like, if you're wasting any of your time worrying about your competition, he said, you're not doing your job right. And so, we absolutely need to challenge our public school system. And, yeah, there are some good teachers out there, and there are some good schools out there. I would never say that, you know, throw everybody under the bus with that. But, by and large, most of the, core values that are being taught there don't align with a lot of Christian conservative people. So, I think that, if we, promote the other options, it will make our public schools stronger in the end too.
Thank you. Mr. Shield?
As president of Concord Academy Petoskey, here's what I learned. I learned, just like we talked about a few minutes ago, of getting out of the way for our contractors to build houses. We need the state to get out of the way so our kids can learn. We do not need Lansing to tell our local schools, school boards, and our children what they need to learn. We need to keep that local. We need to let teachers teach. Most teachers, if not all teachers, go in with the right attitude, with the right reasons. They want to help our children. The administration, the state, everything on the other side gets in their way. We have teachers, we all, I bet, know teachers that are quitting, great teachers. We just learned in Petoskey here, 90% of the staff was unfulfilled and not happy. They got rid of the superintendent because of that. That's going on in all our schools. So we need proper curriculums. We need curriculums that actually teach our children basic life skills. That is no longer happening. I think we had that. You know, at my age, we learned how to balance our checkbooks. We learned how to, what a mortgage interest rate meant. All of those things, that life skills that no longer are there.